Hey people, it's your man Dan coming at you with my first video in a while. I haven't done one of these because I've been busy running a store and tidying the stuff up. But a customer asked me a few weeks ago, where he kind of pointed out that like I know a lot about what he listens to, because I kind of I see what people buy because I run the store. But he said he didn't really know much about what I like to listen to, and I thought this might be an interesting series, called like the Keeper Pile or something. But basically, I just explain what possesses me to keep something versus sell it. I keep a very, very small percentage of what I go through. Um, and these CDs in particular, we're going to be talking about this pile. I'm going to give like short introductions to what the things are, kind of explain my rationale. And I would call that pile I was just holding up the um, CDs I bought with no intention of reselling them. Now, will I probably resell them eventually? Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't want to leave like a big mess for people when I'm not around anymore. But yeah, so let's. I guess I'll just do it in the order they're piled in. Cool. So first up, we got John Fahey, Death Chants, Breakdowns, and Military Waltzes. This is, I think this is the only CD version. It's the only CD version of it that I've ever seen out in the wild. And it's a nice little package. You get the original liner notes, I believe. Yeah, they're in there in the booklet, and you get the first and second versions of the album. Fahey, Faye, I don't know. I've heard it both ways from people who met him, so I'm not. I don't know. Whatever it is, uh, he re-recorded most of his '60s albums, and because the original recordings were done kind of roughly. Uh, a lot of them were actually, or at least I know, like the transmigration of Blind Joe Death. That one was actually recorded by Dr. Demento because Fahey and Dr. Demento knew each other in college because they were both musicology PhD students. But yeah, Death Chants, Breakdowns, and Military Waltzes. I'd say it's like my second favorite Faye record from the '60s. The other one being probably my favorite would be Days Have Gone By, but Death Chants, Breakdowns, and Military Waltzes. You get the second version of America. He eventually did three versions of this piece, and I think the second version is my favorite. It's one of my favorite pieces of all time. Probably my favorite piece of just like solo guitar music. And that's essential listening. So I'm gonna try to make these a little bit shorter. This is an album I have owned a few different copies of. I have a promo cassette of this. I think I listened to this afternoon. This is the best sounding version of this album that I've come across. It's just the original CD from Creation Records. It has the original cover, which they kind of ditched on every subsequent reissue in favor of. Maybe this was just the American. No, I think this was the cover in the UK too. But this is just like great psychedelic rock, like smoke some weed, go listen to this. The Telescopes, 1992, Creation Records, same time and label roughly as My Bloody Valentine. A little bit on the softer side compared to My Bloody Valentine. We got Robert Wyatt Schleep. I have not actually spent a lot of time with this album except for one track, Free Will and Testament, which is one of the strangest prog rock songs I've ever heard. Wyatt's voice seems very childlike on that recording for him being as old as he was when this came out. I'm looking forward to listening to this. The price was right. Why not? And I mean, I don't know. This might get resold if I'm not into the rest of it. But here's some nice kind of alt country, I guess you'd call it. It's not really twangy. It's kind of more like indie rock with just more mellow, kind of country oriented instrumentation. But the songwriting on here is great. We can figure this out. You don't love me yet, and I'm not stuck on you. Are all just great. Kind of, these are the Vulgar Boatmen are kind of like the grandchildren of the Everly Brothers. If you like the Everly Brothers, you'd probably like this, even though it's from the early 90s. Let's see, we got some Bob Dylan SACDs. Price was right, it's 5.1. I don't know, this is an album that really begs to be heard in 5.1, but I don't know, if I got the speakers out, why not? John Wesley Harding. This is another Dylan album. Not my favorite Dylan album, but there are some great songs on there. And again, it's in 5.1. I think there's a few more of those in here somewhere. Yeah, so we got Nashville Skyline and Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. This is probably the one I'm most interested in here in the 5.1 on, but Bob Dylan, I mean, you like him or you don't like him. I like him up to a point. I'm not one of those people who has like all 35 Bob Dylan albums, but I've got some version of most of the stuff up to like Blood on the Tracks or so. This is more interesting to talk about. So this is a band from Austin, Texas, led by Kathy McCarty, who is seen in the film Slacker. And this is the second album by Glass Eye called Hello Young Lovers. Great record. Total sleeper. Nobody ever talks about this. I ordered this off the internet. I don't see this kind of stuff in the wild at all, really. But they're on Bar None Records around the same time that They Might Be Giants and the Replacements would have been on, or no, Replacements were on Sire by that point. But yeah, kind of like a less pretentious version of the Talking Heads with a lot of like Texas flavor to it. The singing and the songwriting is really good. They can rock really hard, but they can do ballads too. Don't sleep on this. These guys are really good. This is an album, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm going to have to listen to it a few more times. Victory Garden, which is track 6, has been a favorite of mine for a long time, ever since I heard a cover that Galaxy 500 did. So this is God Bless the Red Crayola and All Who Sail With It. And I believe it's the second, or no, it's the third album that the Red Crayola recorded, but I think the first one, Coconut Hotel, never got released until the 90s, so this is like the second one that would have gone to stores. A lot of this is like kind of noisy psychedelic freakouts. There's some, if you like Captain Beefheart, you're probably gonna like this. Personally, I don't know how I would feel about this if the next CD that I'm going to talk about didn't exist, because I think The next CD kind of puts this in a weird context relative to a lot of those 60, like late 60s psych freak out records. And this is very much like a Texas psych freak out record. Like the stuff from Texas was like more kind of unhinged, I think, than the other scenes in the country. But yeah, so next one, I paid by far the most for this CD relative to all of the CDs we've talked about so far. This is Mayo Thompson, Corky's Debt to His Father. There's a young Mayo Thompson on the back. Mayo Thompson is the leader and singer and primary songwriter of the Red Crayola, whose CD we were just looking at. And this album, I think the first time I heard this album, I was in college, and somebody had posted online somewhere, and there's nothing quite like it. Like, it's somebody I sent it to described it to me as like, what if Nick Drake was horny instead of depressed? I don't know that that quite captures it, but I just like that description. Um, and this is probably like a top 15 album for me. Everything on it's good. His singing is bizarre, but it's compelling. The band is really good. There's like a nice looseness to it. It feels very much like it's kind of they're just doing it for themselves. And the original vinyl pressing of this was only like a few hundred copies that he gave away to random people, or maybe not random people, but people he knew. And somehow that works in the album's favor. There's a lot of very bizarre sexual lyrics on here. It's hooky, it's catchy. And knowing that Mayo Thompson was capable of this, I kind of wish there was another record like this versus some of the more difficult Red Crayola stuff. Maybe that's me being a basic bitch, but I said it. I don't know. Um, yeah, let me do like two more, and then we'll call it a wrap. Yeah, so we got the Marine Girls. This is two albums on one CD. This has been issued a few times. This version is from 2001, and it has, yeah, two albums, Lazy Ways and Beach Party. Marine Girls is, they're kind of mostly remembered as the first project of Tracy Thorn, who ended up in Everything But the Girl. Um, and it feels very different. I can't remember, fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that Kurt Cobain wrote in his journals that this was like a favorite. One of the two records was a favorite of his. They're both favorites of mine. It's just kind of perfect, mellow, twee, kind of low fuss pop music. There's a few really great songs on here. You got Love to Know, which is one of the best breakup songs ever. You got um, Honey is another really good song, but it's all really strong and it goes by really quickly. It's kind of it's breezy in the best way possible. It's breezy the way that like Wild Honey by the Beach Boys is breezy, right? And this is a CD from the UK, and comes with an enhanced video of rare video footage of A Place in the Sun. I don't know if that's a music video. I haven't put this into my computer yet, but I don't know. That's cool. I don't know. I'll check that out. Cool. So, yeah, let me know if I should do more pickup video talking about piles of random stuff kind of videos. These are extremely low effort, but if it's high reward, I'm willing to put in that low effort. So come visit me and Fritz over at Solar Factory Books and Records, and yeah, I guess I'll see you internet, real life, one of those things. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit comment. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do.